Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Do it work? Do it be working? Oh shoot! I didn't even make a. I didn't even make a thumbnail. Oh no! Oh god! Hold on. See my account. Damn it! It's not supposed to say redesigning the Kanto decks. Oh no! Oh god! Hold on. Making my own Smash. We're doing this all online. Making my own Super Smash Brothers roster. Hop in and hear my thoughts. Yippee. Change. I need to take a... Oh my god, I did not plan this out. You know, we'll do it online. We'll do this all when I'm right here. Well, I'll definitely save that. So now if I refresh... Oh no. This cannot be. Okay, making my own Super Smash Brothers roster. Honestly, that thumbnail's not too bad. If I can just take the thumbnail I already have, and then put Smash Brothers in there, then I'll be fine. Honestly, clutch. Clutch job, me. Okay, cool. Open this up. Also, hello to anybody who's already here. My bad. I should have planned this ahead, but I do not do such things. When did I make this picture? Is it even a thing? Art. Alright. There it is. Drawing stream thumbnail. There we go. I got a big old question mark here. If I can replace this. I just gotta grab Smash Bros logo. Perfect. Perfect. This is wonderful. This is gorgeous. Copy image. Paste. Oh god. There's white! There's white on it! Then transform, rotate. It's not big enough to cover the fucking question mark. I need a different one. Oh my god. I didn't even put the question. You know what? We'll make do. This is so silly. I could have done this in advance. Copy image. Take that out of there. Do that. And color over this. And then I can blur the edges a smidge. Uh-oh. There we go. Just blur the edges a smidge. There we go. Okay, I have a template. Genius. Genius me. Oh shit. this thumbnail looks dookie. But it's okay. Drawing stream smash. And now I can upload this to the live streaming. Change. Perfect. Save. We're in. We're in. We're so in right now. Alright. We'll pull that up. We'll pull this up. Let's see what that stream looks like. It should be perfect. Making my own Super Smash Brothers roster. Perfect. Okay. Alright. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're live. And we're ready to go. Let me just go ahead and take the link to this. Share the link. Copy the link. I'll post it to my Instagram. We're making Smash Brothers today, gamers. And then I'll go ahead and add that as a link. Sorry, I'll get right to it. My apologies. Done. Join the stream. Alright, cool. Should I also do that to my my TikTok? You know what, fine. I'll do it. Why heckin' not? Why does it do audio? We're making Smash Brothers today, gamers. Bold, yellow. There we go. And where's the link? How do I add a link? I wish I knew how to add a link. Add. How do you add a link? I'm figuring this all out on the fly. How to add a link to what is it? TikTok? To TikTok story? TikTok story. Click on stickers, look for the link sticker. Okay. I don't know what it is. Link. I'll figure it out another day. I will figure that out another time. But for now, we gaming. We doing some Smash. Boom, boom. Alright, so this is just a little thing that I've wanted to do for a while. Don't look too much into it. I'm just here. I'm just chilling. I have had this thought for a while. Ever since Smash Ultimate. Actually, I should probably check the. I should check the stream to make sure it's actually running. There we go. That's all I needed to know. So, ever since Ultimate came out, there's been this debate, right? There's been a debate about what the next Smash Brothers is gonna be. There's a lot of talk about, it's gonna shrink the roster. It's gonna make the roster even bigger. It's just gonna be Ultimate 2. And I have some thoughts and opinions of my own, and I'd like to basically go about this list and have my thoughts and opinions put to put down digitally. I just want to make our Smash roster. That's all I want to do. I just want to put characters. I want to put colorful characters in a thingy. And I want to be like, this is who's in my Smash game. So let me get the parameters. Yes, no, and maybe. There's gonna be a lot of. I will say I've got some strong opinions about a couple characters, just based on like who's already been in Smash. But there's, as you can see, there's a lot of fucking characters on here. So I might not be able to go through all of them today, but who knows? Maybe the further down we get, when we get to like, I don't know, like even further down, like to Rayman or like the Puyo Puyo gang, I might be going a little slower or a little quicker. Just depends, we don't know. But I'm going to. Here's the parameters. Not even parameters. I am going to be putting these guys into yes, maybe, or no categories, based on if I was Masahiro Sakurai. If I was Mr. Sakurai himself, would these guys be in my game? And I guess we'll find out. So, starting off, I should probably have music. Just some chill vibe music. Nintendo chill music. Chill lo-fi hip hop. There we go. Oh my god. Alright. Let me discard those changes. How do I add music? I'm playing music right now, but I just want to make sure I can get these. I want to make sure I get this audio in here. How to add audio. Desktop audio active. It says it's working. Desktop audio. Oh, it's just too low. There we go. That makes sense. Is that enough? Let me hear the stream again. Let me make sure that works. And I'll talk over it to see extra hard if it's working. Let me hear the stream again. Let me make sure that works. And I'll talk over it to see extra hard if I'm gonna move this over here. My computer's making a lot of noise. We'll see how that goes. Dang. Why is my computer so dang loud? I wish I had some filters. Noise canceling. I'll figure that out another time. Okay, we'll do the Mario Kart music. There we go. Easy. Alright, cool. It's a little loud. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. I think we're ready. Which is fitting because we're starting with Mario. Alright. Here we go. This is to make my own Smash. To make Smash Bros. Connor Bros. I think, starting off, of course we gotta bring in Mr. Mario. He's the guy. He's Mr. Nintendo. Of course he is. It just wouldn't be the same without our plumber boy. DK, gotta be in there. Link, also gotta be in there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna increase the gain on my mic. That might help with the feedback I'm getting on live. Gotta be in there. Gotta be in there. Come on, catch up. I'm gonna increase the gain on my mic. That might help with the feedback I'm getting on live. That might. You know, honestly, that kind of is. Come on. All right, cool. We're figuring it out. It's a learning process. Alright. But yeah, Mario, DK, and Link gotta be in there. 100%. It would not be the same. It wouldn't be Smash without these three. I know that they have a few links down here, but I'm just going with like basic Link. We're not gonna worry about all of these other links. This is just Breath of the Wild. I hope the next Smash returns to a more traditional Link. Because this one's a little... Breath of the Wild Link's got a little funky business with the bombs. And then there's Tears of the Kingdom Link, which could be cool. And then Twilight Princess Link, which is more of just like a skin, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they're chilling. Samus gotta be in, of course. The lady rep. Plus, since she's like, since Metroid Dread, she's really popped off in terms of popularity, especially with Metroid Prime 4. So she's definitely gotta be in there. First controversial pick. I don't think I'm going to add Dark Samus. In fact, I don't think I'm going to add a lot of... I don't think I'm going to add a lot of Echo Fighters to my little roster. I feel like it pads it up. In my ideal game, as Mr. Sakurai, I would have plenty of time to develop a bunch of unique characters. I wouldn't have to micromanage resources or anything like that. I'd have plenty of time to make these characters good. So I don't think I would do Dark Samus. Hello. How it be? Good. I'm just making a roster. If I was Sakurai.
Who?
The guy who made Smash. If I was the guy who made Smash, if I was in charge, what would I do? Who would I put on my roster? And I literally just started, but they've got like a bajillion characters, so. But yeah. Are you getting hungry?
Just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got leftovers on.
We do have leftovers
Some
on.
for lunch, but I don't have it again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you're okay with that, yeah. I'm good with it too. Hmm? I have no clue. Probably not. But
Not even petrol.
Petrol might be asleep right now. I think it's like nighttime for him right now. But yeah, I'm just chilling. It's just me, myself, and I right now. I think, but that's okay because after this, I think I'll turn it into a little video, add some music or something like that. So, yeah. No, you're good. You're all good. Oh no, you. What? No, you're fine. Is there anything else? Are you all good? Okay. You're gonna make pizza? No. Okay. Well, bye. I love you too. Alrighty. So yeah, Dark Samus. I haven't played Metroid Prime 2. I think that's where Dark Samus shows up. I haven't played it, so I don't really know all the hype around Dark Samus, but I don't think it's worth it. Just kind of like Samus, but again. But Yoshi, definitely in. Look at this guy. He's getting a new game. He's getting a brand new game, bro. With the book. He's getting the book game. What is it? The mysterious book? Kirby's gotta be in there. Of course. And honestly, a little controversial. Fox is a maybe. And hear me out. I know nobody's in the chat right now, but hear me out if you're watching this later, or if you rewound or whatever. Star Fox has not had a game since Star Fox Zero, and I know he's important to the Nintendo history, which is why he's maybe, and he's probably going to be in there, right? But, and I know he's really important to Smash, but at the very least, if Fox gets in, I don't think that guarantees like Falco or Wolf or any of the other Star Fox characters. You know what I mean? You guys are gonna understand my philosophy with this game over time, like as I create or put more characters on the list. But I have a philosophy where if a character feels really similar to another character, the chances of them being in that roster are going to go down. Because I like uniqueness, I like variety. If a couple are the same, maybe that's okay. Because maybe it's like lore accurate or something. But I'm going to try not to double dip when it comes to characters, you know? I like some variety. On that note, Pikachu for sure going to be in. And honestly, the original roster of Ultimate, the original 8, is solid. They nailed it on the original roster. Like, you could not ask for a better one. No, it's just one character per franchise, really. And then you had some extra stuff down here. And we're going to get a little interesting with these two. In my opinion, Luigi, of course, has to be in there. I would be stupid to only put Mario and not have Luigi. Ridiculous. Ness, I know he's unique, but god damn it, this guy has not had a game since what, like 92? The franchise has not had a game since 92. Ness himself, the idea of Earthbound is on life support because of Smash Brothers. And literally, it's on life support because he was in the first game. And the first characters, the original 12, have been in every single Smash Brothers game for forever. Those guys are, I'm sure, are always going to be in there. Which is kind of awful, or not awful, but it kind of sucks because Ness, this dude right here, how the fuck did he survive this life? If he was not in the original 12, there's no way Earthbound, anyone from Earthbound, would be in Smash Brothers. There's no way. So you think your lucky stars you're even in maybe, bro. Captain Falcon, I feel, adds variety. His games are, I would argue, more popular. And he's got, what, like F-Zero 99, and people have been really wanting a new F-Zero game for a long time. But, Nintendo, fear of being redundant, doesn't want to. But I think he fits this roster because, he's literally, I think he's the only character other than Ness that isn't a repeat of the other characters. Like, Luigi's a repeat of Mario, Jigglypuff is a repeat of Kirby, Captain Falcon's his own thing. He was based on, like, the original, fighter that they had made for the game before it became Nintendo Fighter. But I think that's enough to keep him in. Captain Falcon is a beautiful boy. And Falcon Punch, that's iconic. That's an iconic piece of video game history. I would say more iconic than PK Fire or PK Thunder. Another big controversial opinion, Jigglypuff deserves to not be in any Smash games. I know that Jigglypuff is famous. I know that Jigglypuff was really popular by, some competitive guys like Hungrybox. But it's the same reason for Ness, in my opinion. There is no way Jigglypuff would have ever been in a Smash Brothers game if they weren't in the original Smash Brothers. You know what I mean? If Jigglypuff was not in the original Smash Brothers, would they have been added to a subsequent game in the series? Probably not. Because the next... literally the only Pokemon that have ever been added to Smash after Pikachu have pretty much just been bangers. Like, they encapsulate the series really well. And we're going to get to those. But in my opinion, if I could have my way, if I was Sakurai, Jigglypuff would not have even been an option. I would have capped the game at 11. Just keep just remove Jigglypuff. And that's not even because I have a gripe with Jigglypuff, but I feel like they don't have that kind of iconicness as the other characters up here. Ness maybe, because he's kind of like the mage, now that I'm thinking about it. He's our first mage of the group, right? our first magic wielder or our psychic wielder. Jigglypuff is literally just Pikachu. Look at that. They're both a circle. And I think that that does a disservice to variety and celebrating gaming as a history. You could have picked anybody from Pokemon and you picked Jigglypuff because they were pink and a circle and it was easier to develop. Come on now. But now we're in Melee. That was the original 12 roster. I'll still keep Ness here just in case and for some for some bait if people just hop onto the stream and they're like, why is Ness down here? That's why. But we're in Melee now. Peach, 100% in. First woman in gaming. Actually, not true. That's probably Miss Pac-Man. But like, she's the face of Lady Gaming, I think, and like Lara Croft and stuff. And I know I talked about, Dark Samus and not wanting to add her because it's just a copy. But I want to do something different. I am going to add Daisy, but I want to lean into her sports. For Peach, you know how she has that side smash where her weapon changes between like the racket or a golf club or a baseball bat or whatever. Like she kind of swaps, but like a tennis racket, and it changes how she hits the opponent. I would replace that with either her umbrella or give her whole kit a rework to kind of maybe do more stuff with the costumes from Princess Peach Showtime. But Daisy would be the sports one. So like her up special would be like spiking a volleyball, or her side special would be, I don't know, like a slide tackle from Mario Strikers. Or stuff like that. Because Daisy's never had her own game, unfortunately. She has, she came in Sahasra Land in Mario Land, but she doesn't really do anything with that. Like, her character isn't, I am the Sahasra Land character. She doesn't embody that. At least right now, they might change that. But I think giving her a sports stuff to do, making her the sporty gal, that would be cool. Like, maybe she does more damage than Peach. Like, Peach is more of a defensive one, but Daisy's more of an offensive one. I think that'd be really cool, and it would be a fun a difference between the two. You know what I mean? Bowser, 100% in. If I could only narrow it down to, like, 2 Mario characters, it would be Mario and Bowser. Or if it was like 3, maybe Mario, Peach, and Bowser, Because it's like, it's the first villain. Well, like, he's like the main villain in gaming, but also he's the first villain of the roster. Ice Climbers, I like them, but I gotta be honest, they're a solid maybe. It's not even for like a developing thing. I just don't think... Like, at least with Earthbound, they have 3 games. And Ness is, like... He's unique. He's got some magic to him. Ice Climbers, they got 1 game on the NES forever ago. They were the retro pick. And I know that there's a few retro picks in here, but... I feel like you could do better with a retro pick. And we're going to see that later. With a couple other characters, but Ice Climbers, I don't think they'd make it in my Smash game. Sheik, I think is really good. I would keep Sheik, maybe change the version of Sheik or swap it out for a slightly different character, but I think they have options as we go later down the line. But Zelda, 100% getting in. 1 bajillion% getting in. We're not going to worry about the costumes or anything like that. Dr. Mario is not getting in. This guy should be a skin. There's no reason to have Mario and Dr. Mario. This is probably the worst. This is worse than Jigglypuff, because at least Jigglypuff had a unique, fighting scheme. They had the rest mechanic and all that stuff. Dr. Mario, bro, that's just Mario. Except he spins instead of gets flood. And in Melee, they didn't even change it. They both did a spin. I'm pretty sure. They both did a spin when they did the down special, which is ridiculous. Pichu, I love him. He's redundant. He's not getting in. I love Pichu. And Pichu was cracked when Ultimate first came out, which I thought was hilarious. But I'm not putting Pichu in the game. Nobody's picking it. That's a wasted slot right there. We can do more. We can do better. We can do better. Falco, solid maybe. Because like I was saying earlier about Fox, if Fox hasn't had a game in years, if Fox hasn't had a good game in even longer years, why would Falco get in? And they are the same character. Don't be crazy now. Fox, if anything, they would be like Echo Fighter status. The only reason I'm on the fence is because of the icon, or I guess the famousness of Final Destination, Fox or Falco only, no items, that kind of stuff. They're kind of the high tier fighter characters, but like as a casual gamer, you might be saying, "Oh wow, he's got 5 Mario characters but can't afford Falco." I think it's a fair point though, because like each of these guys, they got something different going on. You can even make them more diverse based on the games that they've had. Like Mario and Luigi, you can lean more into Luigi's Mansion. Mario, you can lean more into the platforming stuff. I already talked about these two. But Fox and Falco, they literally have, they do the same thing. Unless a new Star Fox game came out and completely flipped the script, like Metroid Prime or whatever, then maybe we're talking. But for now, solid maybe. Fire Emblem, specifically Marth and Lucina, I think Marth deserves a yes. Lucina, no. And I know that might sound a little crazy, but I also haven't played... I played a little bit of the Fire Emblem with Lynn in it, like the girl with the green hair. But that's it. But I'm not naive enough to say no Fire Emblem at all. Fire Emblem's an important game series, especially to Nintendo. But just in general, like, tactical RPG with the top-down and the grid-based system and all that stuff, that's a cool game mode. And representing that game type is important, especially for Smash Brothers, which is a celebration of gaming, guys. So, and Marth was the first, so of course he's got to get in. I know that Lucina is her own character, and I know that she was, was it Fates? Was it Fire Emblem Fates or something? Or Awakening? I think it was Awakening. But on the 3DS, she was the main protagonist, I'm pretty sure. But in Smash Brothers, and maybe this is the case in the games, she's very similar. And I think that's a big shame for the Fire Emblem series. A lot of the characters are very similar to each other, and that definitely doesn't help the stigma that Fire Emblem games are, or Fire Emblem characters, sorry, are wasting slots. I don't think they're wasting slots, or I don't think they would be wasting slots if you had more diverse characters in there. And we'll see that with some of the later characters. But for now, Marth's in, Lucina's not in. Young Link, I'm going to do something a little silly. Young Link from Ocarina of Time, not. But Young Link from Majora's Mask, yes. And I'm gonna do something a little special. I would, similar to how I would like tweak Daisy's character to make her more sporty. If I was in charge, I would change Young Link to give him the powers, or make his moves the powers of the masks in Majora's Mask. Like the Goron mask, the Zora mask, and the Deku mask. I don't know if that would be like a down B transformation and then he has those moves, kind of like Pokemon Trainer where you cycle through it, or if it would be like kind of like Byleth where each direction would be a different move. Like up would be the Deku and left and right would be the Zora and down would be the Goron or whatever, you know. I just think the idea of diversifying the different links is good. Like you have your traditional Link here with the ropes and the bows and the bombs and all that stuff. And then you got Majora's Mask Link here with the different masks to show the different types of links throughout the Legend of Zelda series. I think that would be really cool. Ganondorf, I mean, he's got to be in. I'm not saying I would use his ocarina design, but I do think that out of the Ganondorfs in the series, unless we're going, because you could either go like Warlock Ganondorf, which is kind of like Ocarina of Time, or you could go kind of like a big badass, you know, sword wielding guy, kind of like in I guess Twilight Princess or Tears of the Kingdom. Or you could just go fucking Hyrule Warriors. But I think regardless, Ganondorf has to be in there. Because, yeah, he's Ganondorf. I would make him a little more wizardy. I think it would be cool. Instead of having just a big sword, he kind of like had a fly around move. Or he could shoot the shadow ball and it could be smacked around. That'd be really fun. I think with modern mechanics, you could definitely do that. Kind of like with Sephiroth's side B, something like that. Mewtwo definitely in, 100%. No doubt about it. If you could only narrow it down to the two most iconic character Pokemon from the first gen, probably these two. Roy. I like Roy, but I gotta be honest, I don't know much about him. All I know is Roy's our boy. Same thing about Chrom. I don't know much about him either, which sucks because I know that Fire Emblem Awakening was like the reawakening of Fire Emblem. Like that's what made Fire Emblem popular again. So I'm inclined, if anything, to add Chrom because he's a little different. But for now, I'll put them both in maybe. All I know is Lucina definitely not. Mr. Game & Watch? Yeah. I think for a retro pick, if you gotta go retro, go back to like as retro as you can possibly go. You know, back before Nintendo made Mario, they were doing the calculator type games with the Game & Watch stuff. And I think that's a really important part in like gaming history as a whole. Because I had plenty of those kinds of games, not Game & Watch specifically, but, you know, those old, cheap calculator kind of games. And I think that's a good embodiment of, you know, those types, that type of gaming. Meta Knight, 100%. Galactonite and whatever that guy is, Dark Knight. Nah, those can be skins. We're keeping it to the essentials here, everybody. Pit. He's unique. I know he's Sakurai's boy. Also we're in Brawl now. Congratulations. Hey, everybody, we made it to Brawl. Yay! I know Pit. I know that Pit is Sakurai's other baby. Kind of like Kirby. I think In terms of uniqueness, I mean, Kid Icarus Uprising gameplay, definitely a unique way to play the game. Uh, if they made a port of it to the Switch 2 or something with the mouse controls, that would probably be enough of a spark for people to be like, hey, this Kid Icarus shit's pretty good, you know? But for now, I'm thinking like a maybe for Pit and a probably not for Dark Pit. Like if I had to narrow it down, if I had to put a whole franchise into one character, I'd probably just do Pit. In fact, you know what? I'll keep him in. Because it's my game, I can do whatever I want. I think Pit adds a nice little difference. And, you know, since I'm new Sakurai, I have to care about Pit at least a little bit. But Dark Pit, I don't think we need this guy. Get this clone out of, get this filthy clone out of here. Zero Suit Samus, I think, yeah. Kind of like Sheik adds a more like quick and nimble character for a franchise, but with a little more of that, you know, like with the gun that she has, the little taser gun. I think it's cool, but don't worry, we're getting there. We're adding more characters from there. Don't worry. Wario, yeah, he's coming in. This would just be a costume. It's the same thing. I prefer classic Wario. Maybe go into more of a WarioWare thing if you're gonna make the WarioWare design of him the main one, but because otherwise just keep him like Wario Land. You know, why doesn't Wario have a move where he grabs somebody and shakes them really hard? You know, instead of the bite move, which is weird. What if he just grabbed him and shook him a bunch? He can be like a grappler. I guess that's kind of what DK does. But he could be like the grappler of the Mario guys, you know? Solid Snake, he's definitely unique. 100% unique. Probably the most unique character they have on this roster at the time when he came out. But I'm putting in a maybe, because if I'm in charge and I'm having to deal with Konami, with stuff for Snake, that's probably a maybe for me. I think that was just a little like secret handshake between Kojima and Sakurai. Be like, hey, want me to put Snake in the game? Yeah, bro. They like dapped each other up. I like Snake, and honestly, he does add stealth. That's a new game type into the game. Stealth is not a game that has been represented in Smash yet, in this version, you know? So, espionage and spy stuff, I think of all the characters you can do, Snake would probably do really well. Ike, definitely. Ike's definitely got to be in there. I know he's another blue-haired guy, but I think if you lean more into that big, slow, bulky kind of fighting style, again, adds variety to something that Marth does not have. Marth's like quick and nimble. Ike is a little slow and tanky, but he has the big sword, which I think, you know, already, we've only got 2 Fire Emblem characters, but I only really play these 2 guys in Brawl anyway. I guess they're the only 2 anyway. See, that's my point. They only had 2 in Brawl, and it was perfect then. Nobody complained. And this is obviously just a skin. Pokemon Trainer. We don't need to do, like, the humans, because they're not the real characters. But Pokemon Trainer, for sure, is getting in. What a cool concept for a character. Or even just like a mechanic in games, switching out your party members. There's no other character so far that does that in Smash. There's no other character in Smash that's 3 characters in one. Don't say Duck Hunt. I know you're thinking it, but don't say Duck Hunt. That doesn't count. I guess it does. But, like, 3 whole distinct characters. They have their own spots on the roster. Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard are also the most popular starters by far, bar none. If you really wanted to add the other characters or the other generations to like a skin list, it might be possible. You might either swap out the models and maybe try to tweak that, or you can just color, Charizard the Fuecoco colors and make Ivysaur Meowscarada colored, that kind of stuff. If you really wanted to. But I think if I could only narrow Pokemon down to these 5, this would do tremendously well. Because this embodies the series tremendously well. Diddy Kong, I know the name. Diddy is going through the mud a little bit right now, but I say Diddy Kong can reclaim his title as the golden boy, Bring him back. Lucas, come on now. If Ness is a maybe, Lucas is probably not gonna get in. His game didn't even release worldwide. Which is a shame, because I've heard that the game's really good. And you know what? I kind of wish it did. That would be pretty cool. Maybe when Nintendo is making $0 Nintendo, they can be like, hey, we got Mother 3. We can release that as a ROM on Nintendo Switch Online or whatever. Sonic, I don't even have to think about it. Dude is in. If there's ever a video game crossover, Sonic's in. He's in before Mario. Let's be honest. Bro invited himself and nobody bats an eye. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Sonic's dope as fuck. DDD? Yeah. He's here. He's chilling. That's a costume. We don't need that. Olimar? I think yes. Pikmin's huge now. Pikmin's fucking massive. They got 4 games. That's more than Earthbound. And they're all good. They're all worldwide releases. And everybody likes Pikmin. So, and Alf's just going to be a costume. We don't need to worry about that. Lucario, honestly, a maybe. I didn't grow up with Diamond and Pearl. I was a child when those games came out. I was like 3 or 4 when those games came out. My first Pokemon game, I didn't play Pokemon until high school. And that was when they had the 25th anniversary and put Red, Blue, and Yellow out on the 3DS eShop. My first Pokemon games was technically the first ones, but then my second Pokemon games were Sun and Moon. I have no, super big connection to Lucario. I know he's super popular, and I know he's voiced by Sean Schemmel of Goku fame. But, do we need Lucario? We got better fighter options in Pokemon later down the line. We can do that. Rob, solid maybe as well. I love Rob, and I think it also shows a different era of Nintendo's history. Because before video games, they made toys, And before that, they made cards. So maybe we'll add, Sudoku. What the fuck? Sudoku. Maybe we'll add, blackjack later down the line. Or poker. But I think it adds a cool era of Nintendo history and kind of just gaming in general. The toys to life. Or making a toy operate with a video game. He's got a little bit of iconicness to him. But solid maybe for now, you know? Wind Waker is also a maybe. I don't want to oversaturate the game with a bunch of links. You could. I know that, you know, in Ultimate, or actually just Smash in general. No, in Ultimate. No, Smash 4, sorry. Smash 4, they changed up the moveset for Zelda, and then they gave her that Phantom, like, charge thing, which I think is really cool. But you could probably do that for Young Link. Young Link could be the encapsulation of all the Toon games. He doesn't just have to be Wind Waker. If it's just Wind Waker, what's he gonna do? Sing me a song? He's gonna play me a song on his Wind Waker? I think if they made him more Toon Link, like with the Minish Cap, or even Four Sword, maybe his final smash could be summoning the other three colors of the Four Swords and they all attack at once. The Minish Cap could be his dodge or his evade, where he just gets really small. You know, stuff like that I think could be really cool if they put that into the character. But I'm gonna say maybe for now. Maybe he'll come in later. Who knows? Wolf? Nah. Get that guy out of here. Nobody picks Wolf. Nobody plays that guy. He skipped out. He's only in 2 games. The only reason he came back was because they brought everybody back. So I don't think we need him. I think we're better off without him. If I could only keep it to 2 Star Fox characters, it would be Fox and Falco. But we don't need Wolf. We don't need that rivalry. We're fine. Villager? Yeah. Animal Crossing is massive now. I mean, New Horizons? Come on now. New Horizons is gnarly. It's huge. That's a costume. Also, it's like a life simulator thing. We don't really have that as like a game that's been represented yet. Mega Man, he's kind of like B-tier Sonic in terms of crossover stuff. He's in a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of partnerships, but, you know, Mega Man, he's not like, oh my god, it's Sonic in this game. It's more like, oh dang, Mega Man's here. What's up? He's definitely in though. Mega Man's cool. Wii Fit Trainer. I love Wii Fit Trainer, and it has, like, you know, fitness games, but I think we could do better. I think there's going to be other options down the line where we can have better options for fitness games, you know? I have one in particular that I'm thinking of that can fill that gap, but I think we can do better. We'll move on from Wii Fit Trainer, even though it hurts me. Rosalina, I'm thinking yeah, definitely. She's like the big, slower, tanky lady character, and the mechanics of her and Luma are really cool. Adds like some cool spacing stuff. If only she was like really good, you know, maybe more people would pick her. Little Mac, he's kind of in a similar boat to Ness. I'm not gonna lie. His game did come out more recently, and also we're in Smash 4 characters now. Yay! Hooray! Little Mac's game did come out more recently, and he's like a straight up dedicated boxer / fighting character, which came, you know, before Ryu became like the fighting game character. But he hasn't had a game in so long. But at least those 2 games were like really good, you know. At least he had some some sauce with those games. So that's why I'm feeling maybe on Little Mac. I wish they made another Little Mac game or another Punch Out game. That'd be so cool. Also, like a special little era of Nintendo history. Greninja, also a maybe. Greninja and Lucario, I know, are super popular. But I don't know. There's so many more Pokemon now. And if I could remove Lucario and Greninja and get 2 more slots just for Pokemon characters, I think I would do that. To get some like fresh blood or new blood in there. Fresh meat. The Miis, I know, are on the Wii, but I think they 100% deserve to be in the game. I think Mii costumes, and just the Miis in general, serve as a really great opportunity for anybody to be like, oh man, my favorite character's not in the game. Well, at least I can make them into a Mii. You know, you know what I mean? It's special like that. It's really cool. I wouldn't separate them by Mii fighter, gunner, or brawler or whatever. I would just make them all Miis, and you could give them like different equipment, and you could even make one like a mage or whatever. Make it like the Miitopia classes, you know? Have some variety in there. I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with it. And it's basically like, this could be like a mini character creator. Not just a Mii as a fighter, but like a little character creator mode. Where it's like, oh, now you can fight alongside Mario. Like, that'd be really cool. And it's always fun to like fight with your friends as yourselves. That's always a good time. Who's next? Palutena? Nah. I don't see Palutena a lot. I haven't seen her a lot ever in Smash videos at all. I know that she's important to, you know, the Kid Icarus games, but I don't know. I think she could just be like the taunt lady. Like whenever you taunt, Palutena shows up and she's like, "Oh hi Pit, this is Luigi," you know, that kind of thing. Pac-Man, definitely. Bro's gotta be in the game. It's kind of like you got the little trio of third party, I'm joining the party kind of guy, you know. Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man. That's a good trio right there. Sorry, I just finished my tea. Robin. At least these characters, at least Robin as a whole, has a unique moveset. They're more of like a magician or a mage user, right? I think that's cool. And I think solid maybe for Robin. I don't know. We'll see what other Fire Emblem characters they put in. But for now, yeah, solid maybe. Xenoblade, Shulk, definitely gonna go with. I don't want to overdo it with anime swordsman, but Shulk's got a really unique moveset with like the ability to boost himself in any of like, what is it, the 6 or 7 different ways he can boost himself. And also Xenoblade is really big. I would say like the movement behind Xenoblade clears any movement behind Earthbound. Because at least like the Xenoblade fans, or at least the fans of that, like the movement that was, you know, was it Project like Butterfly or something? I can't remember. But like the fans were so passionate about those games coming over to the US that they were like, they were vouching for this game, and that caused the game to do really well on the Wii, to the point where they made a pretty good game, from what I heard, on the Wii U with Chronicles, and then they made Xenoblade 2 and 3, with DLC, and those games are apparently insanely good. That's pretty cool. So I think I would definitely put Shulk in there for sure. Bowser Jr. also, yeah. He's you could lean into the paintbrush mechanics a little bit more, but I think he's a great option, a great choice. The Koopalings, I kind of don't even want them to be costumes. Just make Bowser Jr. change the colors. I don't really want to play as these guys. Kind of takes away from Bowser Jr.'s flow. Duck Hunt, also maybe. We've already kind of got the retro rep, but I feel like we could maybe squeeze in another. Who knows? Ryu definitely. 100% Ryu's got to be in. He's like Mr. Crossover other than Sonic. Ryu just shows up. Sonic might have like started a party, but Ryu just like he has a radar. He's got sonar for this shit. He narrows in on a crossover and he just walks into the room. He's almost like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles level of who can we put in our puzzle game? Ah, fuck. Bring Ryu. Ken, I love him, but he's a maybe. We've already got Ryu. We might not need Ken. We might. I don't know. We'll see how it goes later. But for now, we're chilling with these guys. Cloud definitely got to be in. He's like he's the RPG guy. When I think RPGs, I think Cloud. Like right off the bat. I think a lot of people do nowadays, especially with the remakes. But Cloud for sure, gotta be in there. I know he's an anime swordsman, but he's got the limit break, and that's enough for me. Also, it's Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if any other Final Fantasy protagonist can match the iconography of Cloud, or even really anybody from Final Fantasy VII, because that game is just so iconic. Corrin, they've got dragon powers, but I'm doing maybe for now. I think we can do better with Fire Emblem characters. I'm on the fence. I don't want to overdo it with those guys. Don't look at my Mario list. Don't look up here, guys. Look down here. We got Fire Emblem. We got 2 of them. We're perfect right now. I want something unique with these guys. Bayonetta, yeah. We got a femme fatale. We got Lady with Guns. Nintendo owns them. Or, I mean, Sega does, but like Nintendo has like the rights to the franchise and all that stuff. Also, games sell really well. So, there you go. Put her in there. Winner of the poll. And now going on to Ultimate. Inklings for sure. They're popular. Splatoon's fucking crazy popular. I can't wait for the... I never played the games, actually. I have Splatoon 2, and I played it a little bit, but I didn't, like, sink my teeth into it. But I'm kind of just waiting for them to announce Splatoon 4, and for everybody to be like, oh my god! Ridley? Yeah. No reason for him to not be here. He's the guy. If he's in, he's gotta stay in, Simon Belmont, for sure. Gotta bring him in. Richter, maybe. I don't really want to clone. This felt kind of like a shoe-in. He could have been a skin. We did not need a whole Echo character for this guy. King K. Rool, yeah. He's super popular still. They put him in Bonanza. He is cemented in Donkey Kong right now. Isabelle, nah. Unfortunately, nah. I don't think you could really add anybody other than Villager from Animal Crossing and have it be like a legitimate character. I know Isabelle was a legitimate character. She was an Echo Fighter. I think, was she an Echo Fighter? Was she real? Was she a real character? I have no clue. But no, I think you could just narrow it down to just Villager, and then you're chilling. She could just be in the background going like, you know. Incineroar, maybe, but like more favorable than Greninja and Lucario. I think out of those three, if I had to pick one, it would be Incineroar. But you've also got Charizard for the Fire type. I just think he's neat, you know. I think he's got the sauce. Ooh, Piranha Plant. Nah. I love him, but I don't think he'd go in the game. Joker from Persona, maybe. It's definitely the most popular game in the franchise, and it's definitely a very unique game in terms of RPGs. But is it like super duper, like we gotta have this guy in here, you know? Wait until Persona 6, that could be the new rep, you know? But a maybe for now. I'm gonna come back to the maybe tier. We can go through them again. Hero from Dragon Quest for sure. I don't know if I would use this guy as the main one. Probably go with this guy. But Dragon Quest, any Dragon Quest hero, I think deserves a slot. It's Dragon Quest. They predated Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure. I think they came out first. But Dragon Quest was like, they are RPGs. You know, if Cloud is the face of RPGs, Dragon Quest is RPGs. They're like traditional in every way, and I think that's really cool. It's really like pure. But yeah, Dragon Quest definitely got to be in. Banjo, maybe. Bro has not had a. He's kind of like Star Fox. He's had a few games. The last one didn't do very well, and the developers have not known what to do with him since. But people love him. People love him because of those couple of games, or because they really just want those characters to be in Smash. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I love collectathons. But we've got Mario. We've got Mario here. So solid maybe. Maybe if they made him more like Nuts and Bolts. The character builds a car and he can drive around the stage, you know? Something like that. That might push me over. Terry Bogard? Maybe. He is repping an entire franchise with SNK, but also if you could only have one fighting game character in there, it's probably just going to be Ryu, you know? And I feel like the fighting game characters that come after are arguably more notorious than SNK. Not saying it's not important to history and gaming and stuff, but I think if you're gonna have multiple, characters for a specific franchise or a specific genre of game, you've got to diversify a little bit more. SNK and Street Fighter, I feel, play a little too similarly compared to other fighting games. So, we'll get there. But for now, honestly, I'm going to say yes to Byleth. Because, and hear me out, I don't know much about Fire Emblem at all. But I do know that Byleth was Three Houses, Fire Emblem Three Houses was like, if Awakening sparked the flames of the embers that Fire Emblem was dealing with, then Three Houses put like gasoline on the fire, and really shot the importance of Fire Emblem way, way up in people's minds. I do think the timing of their addition to Smash Brothers was a little rough, but mechanically, I think they're really interesting. It's kind of like a Pokemon trainer situation for me, where like, how else are we going to get the trio of water, grass, fire across? Well, put them all in one character with multiple bits. Byleth, each direction has the different types of weapons that, or even the different classes of weapons that you can use. You've got the sword, you've got the whip, you've got or I guess the sword is the whip. You've got the big hammer. You've got the bow. If you could only narrow it down to one Fire Emblem character, I'd probably pick Byleth or Marth because of iconography, but Byleth for like the mechanics, to get that stuff across. But I would add Byleth. I think that's a fair choice, and we're only at 3 Fire Emblem characters. I think we'll be fine. Don't kill me. Min Min, nah. This is kind of like a Jigglypuff thing for me, except this is a completely unique character. I appreciate what Sakurai was doing, and I guess he kind of shot himself in the foot when he made Spring Man an assist trophy. Because that's like if you made Mario an assist trophy, who's gonna be the Mario rep? Fucking Luigi, I guess. But like, it's weird, Like, who do you have to rep the whole series? I think Min Min was a interesting choice. Very interesting character in terms of like how they play. But also I think that's just because ARMS is just a really interesting game. I don't think ARMS is that iconic that it deserves a slot in my Smash Brothers game. Minecraft Steve, however, yeah, bro's getting in for sure. I would be a silly Billy not to put him in. Sephiroth, yeah, he's the embodiment of RPG villains, and I think it just makes sense to have those two together. Repping a little bit of longsword action as well. A little bit of demonic energy as well. I see you. I know what the people want. I think Pyra and Mithra are a good character, and that's why I'm putting them in maybe. They're a favorable maybe. I think that Shulk kind of gets across the unique stuff that happens in the Xenoblade games really well. But Pyra and Mithra, I don't know. Perhaps, mayhaps, perchance. But that's why they're middle. I like the idea of swapping between two types of a fighter, kind of like Pokemon Trainer. So, favorable maybe. Mr. Kazuya Mishima, yeah. This is and look at that, it lined up kind of perfectly. Street Fighter and Tekken are kind of like up there in terms of fighting games. They are the fighting games, I feel. And like Mortal Kombat, those are like the 3 that I think most people think of. Probably Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but Tekken is super popular. It's got a very unique play style compared to Street Fighter, because you got like the 3D and the moving around and all that stuff. I really like it. I like Kazuya as an option as well as a roster. Maybe Heihachi as well, but like we're just going in order of the characters currently. But yeah, got a Tekken rep. We gotta have that. And of course Sora. this is kind of like how I was feeling with Snake, because Sora is, I feel, would be a legal nightmare to put in a Smash Brothers game. If Disney's feeling generous, I'd love to take them up on that offer, but I can't imagine how much it would cost to put Sora in the game. Um, Especially with a lot of other characters that we have already. Sora is very unique, but I'm putting him solid maybe just on the fact that in my admittedly limited budget that I would definitely have for a Smash Brothers game, do I want to spend half of my budget putting Sora into it? If I had $1 million, would I put $500,000 into putting Sora in the game? I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe. So he's a solid maybe for now. We've made it through the characters that have already been in Smash games previously. I'll just have this here for y'all to look over. I think this is a nice paring down. How many characters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 52 characters. That's a good size. You know, less than Ultimate. I think that's maybe as many characters as there were in Smash 4? Possibly? I don't know. How many characters were in Smash 4 roster size? 58? Yeah, it's comparable. I feel like this roster's a little more of a Smash hit, personally. But I think it's going to get even more interesting once we get to the newcomers, you know? We've already been through a bit of the stinkers already. But, you know, we got some Mario, we got some DK, and some Zelda, and all that. We got so many fucking Pokemon to go through. Spoiler alert, most of these are not going to get in. But we got a lot to do. So I think we're gonna do this in chunks, right? I think this first stream was good to like set the tone that I'm going for, and get through the characters that were like, yeah, duh, Mario's gonna get in, and fucking Wii Fit Trainer probably not gonna get in, you know? But I think next stream that I do, I'm gonna go over the characters from the franchises that we've already added to Smash. It's nice how they've set this up, because I've looked over this before. We've got, obviously, the characters that have already been in Smash, all in order. Then we've got the characters from the franchises that are already in Smash. So that goes until, what, Kingdom Hearts here, ending with Xion. And then we've got a whole, like, the entire rest of the list is all new characters, new franchises, everything. Which I think could be a fun, like, last third stream for this whole thing. Especially because I'm hungry as fuck. But yeah, I think starting off, stream 1, all these characters, we're off to a good start. These are who I'm definitely not getting in. It's either because they already are in and it's a costume, or because I just don't like them. Such as Jigglypuff, or Dr. Mario, or Pichu, or Lucina. Do we need her? I'm probably not. Then there's the maybe that obviously I'm going to go back and go over those. And then yes, because no duh. But yeah, I think that's a good start to the list. And next time I stream, I'll go over the characters from the franchises that we already have. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I will see y'all next time. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Bye.